Okay, so this is going to be a shorter live video, and I'll explain that right away. This was actually not going to be a video tonight for the movie club, but I decided at the last minute that I owed it to you guys to try and get one out on every Saturday, so I'm going to try and get one out every Saturday. So that means right now. So what I have to say first is I went to the beach today, and my better half loves the beach, loves the water, loves the ocean, and I do too. I like this. I can sit back, relax, and just pretty much take my coat, read whatever, that type of thing. So it was really hot, and although I used copious amounts of suntan lotion, SPF stuff, I didn't work much for me because I got burnt, and I got sunburnt really badly actually. So right now, as I'm doing this video right for you guys, I'm in pretty serious amount of pain. I was actually talking to James earlier tonight, and I was saying I'm probably not going to make a video tonight. I actually putting on clothing was not going to be the best thing for me. But I'll be right back. To do something first before we finish this video. So, I'm not a fan of the little eight-legged creatures. Spider just got in, and squash time. Anyhow, I'm in a lot of pain right now. I've been using a lot of aloe tonight, and that's the only thing that's enabling me to make this video right now, and I'm probably going to be in a bit of pain afterwards. So I thought we'd do something different tonight. I always talk about like different movies or companies and stuff like that. But the one thing I don't talk about a lot is, well, the smaller screen, the silver screen, the TV screen, and what I watch from that. Now, for me, a lot of the way that I watch a lot of television programs isn't while they're on the air. I basically watch them when they, I'll buy the seasons, like a lot of people do. Apparently, somebody did not like the TV aspect of it, so they left. It's a shame. But I'm going to go over some of my favorite TV shows and TV seasons, and I'm going to try to stay, by far and large, I'm going to stay more current than I normally would. I will talk about some other, I want to do like kind of a retro type show type thing down the road. Hey, I'm seriously, you probably can't see it over there, I'm burnt really bad. But we're talking TV now, we're talking TV shows. And some of my favorites, and some that stayed on track, some that went off track. Morning, Action Jackman. And some that I really think, I hope, comes back on track again. So what I'll do is I'll go over some of the shows, some stuff that I watch. You guys can let me know if you watched any of these shows at all. And I think, considering its last season coming up, a good one to start with, because it has been so different. There's a lot of like superhero type shows out there, and you're going to see a few superhero shows like mentioned in here as well. I do watch a lot of those shows. The first kind, pardon the pun, but you did get the first compliment. Does anybody watch this show? Gotham is a kind of a love it or hate it type of series. It's very, very... Yeah, okay, so Gotham can be really, really good. and extremely bad at the same time. And nothing is more, okay, we'll show you that more than this right here. See this here, series one. So basically, you never watched it yet though. It's good if you stick with it. And like Arrow and Flash, but we'll get to those actually. Gotham's different. It's not like Arrow and Flash. It's not a CW type show. When it starts out of the gate, it really doesn't know what it wants to do. So you have these serious, dark storylines, and right alongside that, you have these really cheesy type villains and characters that you think would work better in maybe the '60s show. So it really doesn't find its voice right away. Acting is not at a Charmed level. If you've ever seen the series Charmed by Aaron Spelling, the original series, it's a fun show, but the acting isn't exactly top notch, to say the least, especially in the early episodes. Gotham kind of has that. There's some decent actors like throughout this, like the guy that plays the Penguin, the guy that plays Edward Nygma. Incredible, and of course Donald Logue as Bullock, again amazing. And Catwoman, the guy playing Bruce is spot on. But characters like what's their name again? Victor Fries doesn't come out that good. Barbara Keene will become a better character, but when you're not going to like her when you start watching the show, she's going to seem really boring to you. And Leslie Tompkins will start as a really good character, and that ain't going to last. That's not going to last at all. But the Joker, or the character that should have been the Joker, before they actually reveal who the Joker is, stellar watching. Stellar watching for that show. So Gotham goes back and forth. Gotham has never had a solid season, as in like a straightforward all the way through, this arc is amazing type season. Maybe season 2 or 3, went a little bit better, but nothing really stuck as like as a solid full season of the series. And if anybody's watches Gotham, they can let me know what they think as well. But I'm going to move on to the next show, and this is going to be more interesting to the horror people that watch this here, and that's this show here, Bates Motel. Now, Bates Motel came out at the same time as another series, actually. It premiered in the same season as another horror series called The Following with Kevin Bacon. And I got that here somewhere as well, at least the first 2 seasons of it. And they have a similar trajectory when it goes. Season 1 of Bates Motel is excellent. I love the first season of Bates Motel. Season 2 of Bates Motel drags a bit. By the time season 3 comes about, I wasn't seeing the love so much anymore. Now, that being said, this show turns around completely, does a complete 180, and gets really, really good, and it has a very satisfying conclusion. It goes in a much different way. This is definitely in a much different universe than the original Psycho films. That's obvious. They run it through its course. It's obvious that they had a plan going in. Season 1 does great. I think they rushed it a bit. I think you probably could have got a couple extra seasons out of this, and you didn't have to go in the direction that they went to so quickly. But in the end, they proved that their direction was correct. You have all the seasons? Not yet. This is the first one I got, and I got this from a contest actually. I won a contest, and empty theater, and basically. This was my prize. I could choose this one, or I think it was The Following at the time, and I had The Following, and I wanted to see this. The Following I should actually kind of talk about. It was a Kevin Bacon show. It was kind of a serial killer thing. Had an amazing first season, gripping, incredibly thrilling. Second season, when they went in a different direction with like a different serial killer, it was actually pretty good. But then they kind of lost their nerve and had to fall back on tropes from the first season again. And then The Following didn't do so well. And the third season, they tried to redo it again, and it just came up third season came up much more like 24, but not good 24. So Bates Motel, great show. Definitely stick with it for the the second and third season, it does get better. There's a couple storylines there, like there's a drug storyline that's kind of meh, but the when it keeps its focus on the main characters, keeps focus on Norman, you really do feel that the growth to the show. Now, a show that I think the show's ended because but I've only ever seen like the first two seasons, and only the first season caught my interest. The second season I have, but I haven't finished, and that's this one right here called Once Upon a Time. I thought this was a brilliant concept when it first came out, and watching the first season Once Upon a Time, yeah, I was down with that. It did a really, really good job of setting up the characters. Things revealed kind of slowly. They peeled back the layers, and I really like that. Basically, the idea is that all the fairy tales that you've ever seen, all the Disney stuff, that's all real. But the characters are way different than you expect, and there's some great acting notes. There's a couple twists around like early to mid season. A character is disposed of that you don't expect, and they do some pretty incredible stuff. So, but I do think it when I got into the second season, I couldn't get into the show. I'm going to give it another shot, and eventually I'll get the other seasons that are out. I'm guessing there's like 6 or so right now. I think it's ended, but I can't be sure of that because I haven't kept up with it. It's one of those shows that I really enjoyed first, and a lot of reason I enjoyed this is because I'm a huge fan of a comic book series called Fables. And if you've ever read Fables, that's basically what Fables is. It's like the characters, the Grimm's fairy tale characters come to life, and it's real and in twisted, unique, wicked ways. I kind of wish that Once Upon a Time would gone more Fables-ish and went a bit more twisted, maybe even more towards like Grimm's, like Grimm's fairy tales, the comic book that's out there. If you haven't read that one, it's really good. So let's get on to the next one. And I like The Walking Dead. I like the original series, The Walking Dead, and I especially like the original like few seasons. I'm a big fan of the season that a lot of people really kind of rag on, and there's season 2, and there's the farm thing, and a lot of people really don't like. They think the farm thing slows it down. I personally love the character development that goes on along the farm sequences. I think the show lost a lot when they lost the character of Shane, and the guy was always doing this. But they could have killed the wife. I was perfectly fine when they did that, but I would have liked kept the. I thought that Shane balanced Rick in the dynamic, and there's a little bit lost there. So it was good when they brought in the governor, and of course Negan. I'm still not sure, but I'm guessing maybe Negan's going to be more of the focus of the show now that Rick's leaving. But first couple seasons of Walking Dead, those were my favorites for that one, and I still watch it, though I don't watch it as religiously. I have like if you look back here, you're going to see that I have some of the seasons of the show in their collector's editions. There's the second season, the third season, and you can see the fourth season as well. I'm a big fan. But what I really did like starting out, and I got to get into the second season. I've only seen the first season of this one. Depending on next season, it's coming out soon, even though the show isn't as good as deserved. Yeah, it's true. It's not as good, but it has the potential to get back. Walking Dead is a show that does have potential to still come back. I think that a lot of people initially expected more zombie-ish aspects to the show, and The Walking Dead isn't about zombies. The Walking Dead are the people. It's their story. It's the survivors, and it's cool with the zombies and the villains. The villains aren't the zombies. The villains are the people that kind of come along, and how it changes them and their personalities, and how they kind of profiteer off of it. It's very character driven. That can be good. That can be bad, because sometimes if a character-driven show is written wrong, or if a character starts to act in a way that you wouldn't really expect a character to act, it can take you out of it. So if you're invested into a show, and all of a sudden the characters, then Walking Dead is one of those shows that brought on like different showrunners, like constantly. There was Frank Darabont, and then then they brought in another showrunner, then they brought in another showrunner. Everybody trying to put their stamp on it, and when they do, it kind of changes some of the dynamics of the show, and you got to kind of get back. It's like you don't get to catch your breath before someone else comes in, and then you got to hope that they do a good enough job to keep the series going and keep it interesting until they can find their place in it. And that's one of the things I find with Walking Dead is just stay on focus, have a clear cut way in how you're going to do it, and don't just do things for shock value. Yes, Negan came in, but did you have to kill off Glenn right away? Probably not. Too many other shows. We're in a golden age of TV. We are definitely in a golden age of TV. I love Game of Thrones. That's that's a big show for me. And some people thought that the later seasons weren't as good, and I'll say they weren't as well paced. But I still think that they were pretty strongly written. But I really did like this. Fear the Walking Dead. I went into watching this one expecting, well, to be honest with you, nothing. Expecting like zero out of the show, zilch. Because I was iffy on The Walking Dead at the time, and a kind of like a spin-off show to The Walking Dead just really didn't appeal to me. I'd seen some of the cast members, and you know, nothing really grabbed me. So I turned it on to watch. This was one of my HMV things. When I was at HMV, I when it was closing down, I bought a lot of stuff for like a buck. This was one of them, the first and second season, and this was really freaking good. I love the character arc. I love the way that they went. I love the slow burn of the show. I like Fear, and of course, Fear is getting a lot of accolades now for bringing in the character or one of the original characters from the original Walking Dead series. But I like the first season, and it does things a little bit differently, and it has a really brilliant opening. If you don't know anything about it and you go in kind of blind, like I did, actually didn't know much about the show. I knew it was set in the Walking Dead universe. I didn't know where or when it was set, but it starts out with the zombie sequence, but it goes in a much different direction than I expected it to go, and I was happily surprised. And watching the pod, still listening though. I watched the first episode of Walking Dead. Never went back to it. It's gotta grab you or it doesn't. I know. I'll be honest with you. Actually, Jackson, when I watched the first episode of Walking Dead, I didn't go back and watch the second episode right away. It didn't grab me, but watch it past the first episode for sure, because there are characters that haven't been introduced yet that are really really fun to watch, and the Dixon brothers, yeah. Especially Merle, in my opinion, especially Merle. Now, here's a show that's definitely had its ups and downs, and it's Arrow. Of like all the superhero shows that really started with a bang, like more than any other one that I can actually really think of, aside from like a certain speech one, Arrow really really started well. This, and here's the thing. There had already been an Arrow, a Green Arrow, established on TV just previous to this on the series Smallville, where Justin Hartley played the Green Arrow, and a lot of people thought that Hartley, would go on to do this series here. So when they had this new actor Stephen Amell come in to play Arrow, they knew he was he's a good-looking guy. He was definitely going to get the CW crowd for watching it, and then as he cast more people, you saw a lot more of like the kind of like CW casting, as in the younger attractive ones and with a few older character actors interspersed within the show. Now this one here, it's really good. It's a really dark take on a superhero character, especially the first two seasons really. You're talking. Love the Arrow. Manu Bennett and Steven were superb. I'll get to season 2 actually. Breaking Bad's a great example if you need to stay with it. Yeah, Breaking Bad. I like the show, and I don't think it's the best show ever made though. A lot of people say that. They'll say you gotta watch Breaking. It's the greatest show ever made. It's a good show, but not the greatest ever made. But I like it. I got the complete series actually. But with with Arrow, with yeah, Manu Bennett, I really like in this show, and he does a great job in the first two seasons of the series. Uh, I love the first. John Barrowman is incredible as Merlin in the originally, but and see this here, this is the glory days of the series Arrow. These are amazing seasons, season one and season two. I've also got season three, which I don't have over here right now. And why? Because season three is really bad. You see, all the stuff that they set up in season one and season two slowly get thrown out the window. So all the character development that they've had, all the excellent like fighting, all the charismaticness of John Barrowman, the badassness of Manu Bennett's character of Slade Wilson, you kind of see that kind of fall to the wayside, especially in season three and season four. Season four gets really bad. Season three, we get the whole like League of Assassins storyline with Ra's al Ghul, and I don't know who's the worst Ra's al Ghul, the one in Arrow or the one in Gotham, but throw them up in the air. It's really probably Gotham. Gotham's got a worse Ra's al Ghul, but this guy, he's a good actor, but the character isn't written well. When they focus more on the whole Oliver Felicity, or what do the fans call Olicity thing, it really loses a lot of its momentum. They actually kill off a main character in the series, in season four, I think. So that, and it's really pretty much done so that they can actually push the Oliver and Felicity storyline along, because this character is the character that is in the comics with them, is with them. It doesn't. I loved Felicity originally, but the more they put her into it, and the more annoying her character becomes. And I love that actress, and I think she's gone a long way back and forth when it comes to it. And it's not her fault. She's not written well in some of the later seasons. There's a sequence where Oliver finds out that he's got a son. Like he didn't know this. He thought he finds out that he's got there's a long lost son that he doesn't know about. That's kind of like hinted out and told you. We find out early on, but he finds out in like I think it's season three or season four. So he finds out, and it's in a Flash crossover episode. Hey, how's it going? I am doing this one, and it's TV shows. And after he finds out, the girl that he had the kid with basically says, "What do I like better, Arrow or the Flash?" I'm going to get to that actually, but neither one of them are my favorite DC show. I'll tell you that right now. She gets upset with him for like lying for not telling her immediately after he finds out that he has a son, that he's got a son. Now, one, he's just found out he's got a son. Two, the mother of the son told him that if you tell anybody that that this is your son, you'll never get to see your son again. Three, he's the Green Arrow, and that life can lead to like dangers. And four, Felicity lied to him at the beginning of the season to do secret clandestine missions for the Arrow team after they kind of went away from it. So that was hard to get past. Now that being said, season 5 of Arrow gets really, really good again. They do everything right. Prometheus is probably the best, right up there with Slade. Prometheus is an amazing character, and I was completely shocked by the reveal of who Prometheus was, and I will tell you right now that I did not see it coming at all. And part of the reason for that is they introduced the character of the Vigilante. I am a huge, huge fan of that comic book, of the Vigilante comic book, and Adrian Chase is a Vigilante. It's a very dark comic. It does not end well for the character. Basically, the Vigilante's character ends up like taking his own life. And Adrian Chase is brought into Arrow, and the Vigilante is brought into Arrow. So the assumption that you get when you're watching the show is that, oh look, Adrian Chase, Vigilante, they're going to be the same character. A lot of spoilers in this book, guys. Just so you know right now, there's a lot of spoilers. But the shocking reveal is that the Vigilante's identity is not revealed in the season 5. Not at all, actually. But Adrian Chase's part is revealed in season 5, and he's not the Vigilante. They have chosen well with the casting of Prometheus, and it is an incredible season. That being said, season 6, when they actually show you who the Vigilante is a huge letdown and kind of a slap in the face to anybody that watched it. Long, stressful week for me. Great to see you. Good to see you here too, Ben. It's been like it's been a different. Yeah, it's been a kind of a stressful week here myself, so it's good to get on here. I'm doing this. I literally almost didn't make this because putting on a shirt right now, or even shorts, is a painful experience. The stream be every TV show that you have in your collection, or just some. I don't want to save some stuff for, like, I'm going on with some newer stuff, and I'm going to throw in some like older stuff that I really think you should watch along the way, and you guys can mention shows as well that give me your thought. I'll give you my thoughts on it. So Flash, you just asked me about Flash and how I thought Flash held up to the Arrow. Flash gets the comic bookiness of it better. It understands what it is, and it plays well in its sandbox. Now, the first 2 seasons of Flash are good, but they're very, very similar. The Flash has an arc where it ends where he fights the speedster, and then there's another speedster, and by season 3, at the end of season 2, they talk about Flashpoint, and Flashpoint is a big storyline in Flash. So it's kind of one of the things that if you're a Flash fan, if you're a fan of the Flash comic books or the DC universe, you're waiting to get to that Flash point storyline, because it's going to be really cool. And this is something that can last like a season, can have ramifications that go over and over, and just kind of go deep. It can be a really deep storyline. So Flashpoint is 1 episode at the beginning of season 3, and then Flashpoint is never used again, actually, except for like little like inconsistencies or things to basically, oh, that's different because Flashpoint, and that's all you need. It's their Deus Machina, as like, oh, Flashpoint. Wait, that doesn't make sense in continuity. Oh yeah, Flashpoint happened. So I guess it does. But out of both of them, I originally loved Arrow more. I do find that right now I can watch Flash. I can get through a season of Flash a lot quicker than I get through a season of Arrow. And I do think that the last season of Flash, even though it got some like a lot of people put some hate on it with the Thinker character and all that, I think that they took a lot of chances. Not everyone worked, but overall, I think Flash has been more solid as a series than Arrow's been, and Arrow is a show that I really like. And they brought in, I haven't seen this season of Arrow, so the latest season of Arrow I have not seen all of it. But Richard Dragon was brought into season 6 of Arrow, and Richard Dragon's a character that I really like. I think he's made into a villain in this series, and they chose an actor that I really enjoy. One from a series that I like called Oz. Anytime you see an actor that acted in the series Oz, then you're in for a treat, because pretty much everybody in that series was amazing. Fun nonsense like Manimal, Automan, Tales of the Gold, and Golden Monkey. Actually, I don't know if I brought it over or not, but I do have Manimal. Automan and Manimal came on the same year. They came on Thursday nights, and they were given what's called the graveyard slot. Pretty much, it's a slot that they give shows that are going to die. So rank them: Arrow number 1, Flash number 2, Gotham number 3. You're forgetting a couple shows, which I'll get into right now. Actually, I don't have them over here because I don't own the shows yet, but I have watched. I've watched the first season of Black Lightning, and the pilot episode didn't catch me a lot. It didn't really grab me. But as I got more into the first season of Black Lightning, it's much like the original season of Flash or the original season of Arrow, in that it's more grounded. It's more grounded. It's more street. It's more. It seems to be more real, and I like that. I like that Black Lightning's character He can die. He almost kind of does die in one episode. They introduce more like superhero heroic characters throughout it, but they're characters that like fit in with the Black Lightning universe. So if you haven't watched Black Lightning yet, I really do think you should give it a chance. It's got some really interesting characters. Automan 5 p.m. every Saturday on BBC. Oh, you got it on Saturdays on BBC. Automan here in North America when it premiered. I was in grade 7, I think. I was up in Alberta. I was in Camrose, Alberta at the time, and I used to collect like those fall preview TV guides. So come out here in North America, so they'd have two issues. One would start the fall preview, and the other one would finish it off. And like usually the second one would also include the kids fall preview with the cartoon shows that came on because Saturday morning cartoons were a huge deal back then. So Automan and Manimal were a back-to-back series, or back-to-back in North America on Thursday nights and late Thursday nights. So you guys got it at a perfect time on a Saturday. But both those shows, as you know, neither one of them lasted very long, and that was the reason. Around the same time, Doctor Who played. Not up against Doctor Who, I hope, because that's not a good idea. But as a kind of like a follow-in, a lead-in to Doctor Who, kind of cool, or something afterwards to like just keep the kids' attention. Definitely. Then yeah. But I loved Automan and Manimal. They were not great shows. Yeah, but same channel, good. They were not great shows, but they were fun shows. You didn't take them too seriously. Let's face it, Manimal turned into the same animals every week. Not only that, but every time he turned into them, no matter where he was, when he turned into the animal, same background, from week to week. Look, he's turning into that panther in the warehouse again, but he's not anywhere near a warehouse. 80s TV. Yeah, and the other DC character show that I guess we got to talk about is Supergirl, which has been coming up and down. I did like the first season. I liked the way that it was done. I lost it a bit in the second season. I came back watching it again when they brought in Superman, and they brought in like and the most recent one I haven't seen all of, but basically the girl doesn't know that she's a villain, and she's got almost like a split personality. She got a daughter, and I really don't know. I'm kind of interested to see where that goes. I haven't bought the season yet, so I haven't watched it all, but I did see the first couple on TV, and I do like Supergirl. I think it's a fun show, but if you want me to rank them, my favorite right now is Flash. No, well, Black Lightning is my favorite. It's the most solid show. But I guess it's Black Lightning, Flash, Arrow, and then Supergirl in that particular order. And that could change based on the next season. And I haven't seen the last season of Arrow, like all of it. So that's like based on the seasons that I've seen so far. I really enjoy Arrow and Flash. Arrow and Flash is one of those shows I keep coming back to. It's kind of like Law and Order, SVU. I kind of can't leave the show. I got to keep watching it. Like some seasons are better than others, some are bad, some are good, but I just really enjoy them. So let's get on to the other DC show that people forget to talk about. Tried to watch Supergirl. I didn't really like it. Do I like the movie? I do. People forget that Supergirl is probably the actual first movie before Wonder Woman, actually, that actually had a female lead, and not just a female lead, but like a female villain and lead as well, with with Faye Dunaway's character. Peter Cook was in it. I enjoyed the movie. Is it like, I know it's not great. Hey Benny, how's it going? You can read my mind, by the way, because that's literally in my hands right now. DC's Legend of Tomorrow. This series, when it started out, actually sabotaged both seasons of the first part of the season of Flash and Arrow that they were in, because both Flash and Arrow became a setup show for this series, halting any momentum that they had, like bringing their own series and their own storylines forward. But they really wanted to get this done. Now, this is a show that I do think has gotten better over time. If anything, I'd say Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 is the weakest of all of the Legends of Tomorrow seasons. And Probably because I wasn't really that invested in the storyline or the the Hawkman Hawkgirl thing. I'm a huge Hawkman fan in the comic books, but I just really couldn't get into the storyline here. It's a fun show. I really like DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and I really shouldn't have ranked until I put Legends of Tomorrow in there. I was actually looking at it when I was doing the ranking. But this show I do think has gotten a lot better and a lot more fun. And if you haven't watched it, definitely check out Legends of Tomorrow. What are your thoughts on that, guys? So, Ben, you mentioned Legends of Tomorrow. Does anybody else watch this show? What got me into watching the show originally, and I'll be completely like transparent, is I watched Arrow, and Sarah on Arrow right there, the was the original Black Canary in the series. I thought she was really gorgeous, and she every scene that she was on Arrow, she utterly stole like from everybody else. She was an incredible actress, and we all know that they kill her character off in like the third season, I think. But of course, she later gets brought back and eventually becomes a White Canary. I think this is a much more fun. This doesn't get enough attention. Everybody talks about Arrow, everybody talks about the Flash, but not a lot of people actually talk about Legends of Tomorrow. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Legends of Tomorrow? Because if you're still here, if you're still watching, I would actually like to know. I do like it, especially the Heat Wave, Captain Cold Double Act. They're really good together. Like those guys started. It was in Prison Break, right? I think that was the first show they did together, where they play brothers. And obviously there was like the newer Prison Break. I haven't seen that one yet to see if that like kind of matched it. Prison Break is one of those shows. Watch them in order, so it's a disc off after every episode. Uh, it's a I do find this one a lot of fun, and the crossovers have been really good. Now with Legends of Tomorrow, like when they brought in Jonah Hex and like characters like that, I really like that. I haven't seen one episode, so many TV shows and movies, not enough time in the day. If you watch the other DC shows, then you gotta watch this one really, because you're missing out on, you're missing out on part when they do the massive crossovers. You're definitely missing out. And trust me, any episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow is 10 times the episode that the Flash's musical episode was. Man, what a disappointment. I like musical episodes. Shows, modern day shows that I like, that were really good, that got really not so good in in their second season, is True Detective. The first season of True Detective is damn near brilliant. It is pretty genius. They're actually just going to do a Constantine. Yeah, I know Constantine. Man, it was one of those shows that, much like Lucifer, Constantine's better than Lucifer. I did like Lucifer, but I think that one came back on, right? It got saved. But Constantine was like one of those amazing, cool shows that should have lasted. It was much more adult. It wasn't going towards the same demographic that the other shows were going towards, and that may have worked against it. It was I hate to use the word, but it was a little bit smarter than some of the other programming that was out there at the time, in my opinion. And Constantine's like a really different, like there's a balancing act that's got to be done there. And they had the perfect actor for Constantine, just perfect. They really screwed up on the actor for the Spectre, didn't look like him at all. What's with the beard for the Spectre? But yeah, Constantine, amazing. They're showing Cardinal in the UK right now. Is it worth watching? Cardinal, I haven't seen Cardinal. Which show's that? Now, this one here, what I just mentioned, True Detective, and I think Reality's Illusion just said season one's a masterpiece, and I would agree. This is right up there with like first seasons and like just true, insanely great shows. Right up there with like shows like Twin Peaks. True Detective is stunning. The acting, the writing, the way this is filmed, just everything about this show to me was just a hit. It was gold. It was like, as Vince Vaughn would say in Swingers, it's money, baby, it's money. And you got Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, two guys that you wouldn't expect to be doing TV at this point in their career. Both of them actually had have had pretty amazing careers. But season two, speaking of Vince Vaughn, Have I seen The Young Pope, or is it coming up? I haven't seen it. I think it's coming up. I haven't seen. There's a few of those shows I haven't seen. There's like I haven't seen The Crown yet, and people tell me that's a good show. But like you just said, there's so many shows to watch that I get around to things every once in a while. The newest series on Netflix that just dropped was a show called Insatiable, that had an actor from a series that I'm going to talk about in a minute, as like what I consider one of the great lost shows of all time. One that not enough people talk about as I get into more horrific stuff, horror shows. But speaking of horror shows, we should probably talk about the one that that's been like one of the biggest ones to come out in a long time. That's the American Horror Story. And even before, I'm going to share my favorite two seasons. Spartacus. Spartacus, I loved. I don't have it here. First season. It was hard after the actor died, and they brought another actor in. It was hard for me to get into it after that. Hannibal, I think, was a genius show, and I didn't get into Hannibal when I first saw it. The first episode I was kind of meh on, and as the show progressed, I got more addicted to the series, and I was very disappointed when the show ended, especially because they were going to do the Silence of the Lambs. They were going to do like the other storylines. I kind of wanted to see that. I wanted to see where they're going to go with that. And for me, like Mads Mikkelsen, he is Hannibal. He, even over Anthony Hopkins, and over Spartacus, one of your favorite series, and all seasons of it. See, I haven't gotten through all the later seasons of Spartacus, but Manu Bennett was in Spartacus, wasn't he? Cardinals, a Canadian crimes. Yeah, I've seen commercials for it. I just haven't seen it. So that's how I don't know if it started. Mads is bigger than is better than Anthony. I'd agree with that. Now that being said, I like Manhunter. That was my favorite movie when it comes to the Hannibal character, and he was like more subdued in that film. Of course, played by a different actor. But I liked Manhunter a lot more than I did the other ones. But before you even mention American Horror Story, I guess the one I should mention, if you guys haven't watched it, I really strongly recommend it. Is a little series by the name of Channel Zero. Now, Channel Zero, much like the more popular and the more well-known series American Horror Story. Oh, season 3 is really good. You'll like it. It's got a unique ending. If you haven't seen Channel Zero, please watch it. It's really, really well done. Watching Mindhunter. I like Mindhunter. I haven't got through the full series yet. We started watching it, and then it's like we ended up like moving, and we didn't get to finish it yet. But I've got to state it again. Channel Zero. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I'm going to get to American Horror Story in a second, but has anybody here seen Channel Zero? Have you seen Candle Cove or Butcher's Block? It's a really, really good show. Slow burn. For which one? For Channel Zero or for Spartacus? Because Spartacus doesn't seem like a slow burn show. Channel Zero has like usually. Check out night. Oh, see you later, Ben. I hope you have a less stressful week coming up, and me too, actually. Apparently nobody wants to talk about or seen Channel Zero. I'm kind of disappointed in that, guys. It's one of the creepier shows that's come on in the last little while, and it's been cast really, really well. So if you haven't checked it out, there's my homework for you guys. Try and check out at least the first one. Slow burn from Mindhunter. Yeah, it is a slow burn show. I was trying to... Nobody's seen Channel Zero. Nobody here has seen it. Watch it. Like, in all seriousness, watch it. When it comes to American Horror Story, which I'll get to because you guys haven't seen the other one, is these are my favorite seasons of the ones that I've seen so far. DVDs I haven't watched yet. Is that the first one, Candle Cove or Butcher Block? Is it on Blu? It is out on Blu-ray. The first 2 seasons at least are, and much like American Horror Story, it's a series that each season is a different storyline. It's horror. I would consider it more horrific than American Horror Story in a lot of ways, and definitely more kind of creepier, more psychological. Oh, thanks a lot. I don't know if I'm going to make it for another 30 minutes because I'm in severe pain right now and I need more aloe, really, coming soon, coming soon, to be honest with you. But season two of American Horror Story is definitely my favorite one. Asylum, I think, is pretty much it's genius. I haven't seen Cult yet. I've seen like the first couple episodes and looks really good. I really like the way that the Cult storyline looks to be going, but I don't own the season yet, so I haven't been able to sit back and watch it. But Asylum, definitely my favorite of all the American Horror Stories. My second favorite actually is Coven. I actually this is a lot more humorous. I think this it's like X-Men meets like Witches of Salem type of thing. Uh, I just love Emma Roberts is just really good in this. But they're losing their star performer when it comes to this series because there's an actor and I can't for the life of me remember his name right now, but he's usually like one of the usually a lead or an important character on the show, and you guys may remember his name. Like he plays in Coven, he's the one that comes back. Kathy Bates is great, but the male, like he's a younger guy, and he's one of those guys. He's really good actually. If you watch the X-Men movies, like he plays. Really? This was only like I think I paid like maybe $5 or $10 for this one. I wait till Black Fridays and then I grab the American Horror Stories. My third favorite season, like Coven better than Freak Show. Yeah, Freak Show I loved Twisty the Clown, but I was really not a fan of Freak Show. There's good aspects to it, but it's not one of my favorites. How do you feel about Hotel? Murder House I liked, and definitely a great setup for the show. But Coven just did everything for me better. Like the characters, the story, the mystery of it was pretty easy to figure out who the serial killer was, in my opinion. But just the way they weaved in different stuff, and I love the way that yeah, Jessica is coming back next season. Actually, they mentioned that. Yeah, I liked Hotel all right. I mean, like I thought it was better than Freak Show. That's one thing I'll definitely give it. Is that I think it was a better series than Freak Show was. One thing I love about the series of American Horror Story is that they weave in like a lot of like interesting. Yeah, I've actually, from what I heard, you can like Google it and find it for sure. But I heard that she was coming back. Now she went off the series, and then she didn't like move away from like from that director producer though of Ryan Murphy. She went on. She did another show called Feuds. I think it was called Feuds. Anyway, so she played Joan Crawford, and like the Joan Crawford Betty Davis feud. You like Hotel better than Freak Show? How about you? Uh, yeah. I definitely like Hotel better than Freak Show. Freak Show, it took me a long time to get into it at all, and I would like to go back and watch it again. So I'm actually going to go back in the near future and rewatch all these. Maybe I'll do a review of all the American Horror Story seasons after I want to start back at the beginning with the new one coming out. That's going to like Apocalypse, and it's going to deal with like with a lot of stuff from the other shows. Because this is pretty much the Antichrist like season of American Horror Story coming up, and we know that the character is from Murder House. Like it's the baby, of course. He's grown up now, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. That's pretty much how they've said like that's leaked out that it's going to be the baby character as a grown man now. The guy that's been every season, the the shooter in season one, the pretty much the star, the one that like whose wife disappears in from Alien Abduction season two. Oh yeah, with the baby. Yeah, it's pretty. That's pretty freaky. And and in season four, he's like kind of almost like a Frankenstein monster type guy who's like he dies and comes and he's brought back. That actor, well, I can't. His name is like I'm forgetting it right now, but he's leaving the series after the new after Apocalypse. That's his last one, and it's a shame because he's a really good actor and he brings a lot to the show. Now, I want to talk about what show we talked about. Right then, I was talking about American Horror Story, 13th Wolfman, and welcome. I said that my favorite season of American Horror Story is Asylum, and my second favorite is Coven. I really like Coven. A lot of people say we'll go with Asylum and Murder House being their second favorite. I like Coven and then Murder House, then Hotel, then no, then Roanoke. Yeah, Hotel and Roanoke are kind of like toss up for me, and then like my least favorite is of course Freak Show. Coven, yeah, I thought Coven was a lot of fun. I love the fact that they got Stevie Nicks at the end of Coven. I really like Emma Roberts, and she does a fantastic job. Another show that started it well, that had a fantastic like debut season, but it was such a strange show too. But it had a not so good second season. Was a show called Scream Queens. You got Jamie Lee Curtis, you got Emma Roberts there as well, and Leah Michelle. Oh, Evan Peters, thank you, 13 Wolfman. Yeah, I'm actually kind of sad that he's leaving like the crew of American Horror Story after you didn't care for Roanoke. I thought Roanoke had a decent like little twist to it. I like the idea of like having the actual storyline going on, as well as having the like the reenactment going on too. Not always the best follow through in the end, but I guess I kind of like the Roanoke story as well. I like the actual Roanoke story, and I find it kind of interesting. That's one of the things that keeps me going back to American Horror Story is that even you couldn't get in Roanoke. A lot of people couldn't get in Roanoke. That's I'm like an anomaly when it comes to that. I'm in the minority. I like that American Horror Story takes a lot of stuff that's really going on, that really went on back in the past, like murders and stuff like that. Like when they talk about the Axeman in Coven, there was an Axeman. That was like not a made up. Well, obviously they do the fictionalized version of it, but there actually was an Axeman. There was a killer. So I like the fact that they draw from a lot of history and a lot of like different serial killers and stuff. You like Freak Show better than Roanoke? Roanoke's your least favorite? See, Freak Show's my least favorite. And because I guess it took me a long time getting, I like Twisty. And if you asked me to tell you anything about Freak Show at this present time, I could tell you Twisty. And I could mention the storyline with the, what's her name? The girl that was in Coven. The, with the, kind of like with a smaller head type character. Her character. I liked her arc in on Freak Show. It's heartbreaking, but I liked her arc in Freak Show. That was probably what I can remember most about that. I like the way Roanoke was set up, and I like the Roanoke story, but not the best one done. Top American Horror Stories would be Coven, Murder House, Asylum. Still have not seen Hotel, Freak Show, or Cult. Cult is interesting. I really should rewatch this season, except maybe Roanoke. Rewatch them all. Maybe you'll get something more out of it than you did. Like for me, like I got more out of. I would get more. I think I'm going to get more out of Freak Show when I rewatch it. More out of Hotel when I rewatch it. Hotel is probably the one I rewatched most recently, but I want to watch them again in order. Give them all a chance. Reality. Give them all a chance. But here's a show that if you have not seen it, see it immediately. And this is one of the great shows, in my opinion, that ever came out, and it only lasted a season. And I'm kind of glad it did, because it was kind of a perfect season that I kind of didn't want ruined. Freak Show and Hotel, I just have not watched them. Freak Show's a little weak, but the twisty part's good, and Hotel is different. You gotta give Hotel time to get into it, actually. But this is one of my favorite shows that ever came on TV. Harpers Island. I grew up in the 80s as a huge fan of slasher films. The slasher genre was my genre. If anybody's asked me my favorite like subgenre of horror, it was the slasher genre. And Harpers Island. Has everybody seen Harpers Island? Regular TV shows and movies are still sealed. As you can see, some of these there that I've seen them, but they're actually still sealed as well. See, I'm not going to go any farther. Tell you about, which is based in Seattle. I like this. It was cool. Yeah, I loved Harper's Island. Watch this show, reality. 13 Wolfman. Yeah, I love this series, and the reveal. I'm not going to give this. I gave away a lot of spoilers on this. I'm not going to spoil Harper's Island. Harper's Island is a No, no, actually, no. It does look very Stephen Kingish. Basically, what it is imagine like a slasher type of film with really kind of cool out there deaths, like kind of a mystery type one. Remember the Scream TV series? Imagine a much better version of that with way better actors. You've always passed on watching. Don't pass on watching it. It is a great show. Yeah, it's a murder mystery show. It was considered the first like slasher TV series. Is like literally what they build it as. But there's a great mystery to the show. There is the acting is fantastic. You get the characters. What they do with this is to give you all the trope characters that you would have in every one of the slasher films. But because it's a TV series, nobody is what you think. The stoner guy, the jock, the bitch characters, none of them are just that. They're fleshed out. You get to really like them. Every one of these shows will end with like a horrible death. It'll end with a horrible death with a really kind of cool horrible death of a character as it weeds down until you finally find out. Only one season. There was supposed to be a second season. It never got made. There's basically there was this and there's a web series that was done as a kind of as a prequel to it. But don't look it up at all. Go in and watch this one blind. Go and watch this completely blind because the reveal of the killer is so freaking good. A lot of great actors in the show too. So if you've not seen it, definitely pick it up. The season is I don't think it's too expensive to buy. I think maybe 10, 15 bucks. Katie Cassidy, yeah. Katie Cassidy, Jim Beaver's in this one. Christopher Gorham, who's in the new series Insatiable, is in this one as well. Gorham also acted in, I never saw many episodes, but it's a show called Ugly Betty. I think he was in that. I didn't really watch it, but I do like Christopher Gorham as an actor, and he was in that show, I think. He's in Insatiable anyway. He's got a very comical character, Insatiable. But he's in Harpers Island too, and he plays. He's the guy that's going to be marrying Katie Cassidy's character, because they're all coming to Harpers Island for a wedding, and some people like there had been like a murder there before. There's like a serial killer that had killed a bunch of people. Callum Keith Rennie is in this show. If you've ever seen Callum Keith Rennie, if you're a fan of like shows like Californication or stuff like that, Callum Keith Rennie had a great character in that. He also was in the TV series Due South, and definitely made that a better show when he was in it. Rennie's one of those guys you see in a lot of stuff. If you guys watch the recent Saw film, the latest Saw movie, Jigsaw, Callum Keith Rennie was kind of one of the main actors in the new Jigsaw film. He's the one that everybody wanted to actually be Jigsaw's assistant, but he turned out like not to be. But and the other guy was. But Callum Keith Rennie, if you've seen the movie Jigsaw and you said, "Wow, that guy would be awesome as like a as a killer, as a Jigsaw type killer," and then you were disappointed at the end when it wasn't him, that's Callum Keith Rennie. Watch Harper's Island. That is a fantastic show. If you've never seen it, you're in for a treat. And since we're speaking about Harper's Island, I guess we should talk about Slasher. Slasher was a series that's gone on, well, 2 seasons so far, and I heard there's a third one coming up. So Slasher had a really kind of interesting premise. They kind of wanted to do a Harper's Island type of thing. They wanted to do like a slasher story, and they wanted to do a different slasher film, different setting every season. So the first season, you've got this like, God, what's it called? The killer, the hangman, or some kind of like the executioner, something like that. And it's got a really cool look to him. Love the first season of Slasher. A lot of fun. It was actually done by one of the guys that worked on Degrassi, the series Degrassi. And don't let that turn you off, actually. It's actually pretty cool. Some decent. It's done and shot in Vancouver, I think, like a lot of those shows are. And then recently, after like waiting for a long time and thinking there wasn't going to be a season 2 of Slasher, season 2 of Slasher came out, and it actually showed up on Netflix. And it started out like I wasn't sure, but man, did it get good and gory as I went through with Slasher. I'm a fan of the series Slasher. It's not anywhere near Harper's Island quality, but it's definitely an interesting fun watch. You won't be bored with Slasher, that's for sure. It's very short. Who from Degrassi did Slasher? It wasn't bad. It was different. Like it had like it was very. Remember Scream, the TV series 13 Wolfman, like the one that ran for like 3 seasons and a movie. So far with the fourth season coming out, or is it 2 seasons in a movie? I can't remember right now. No, 2 seasons in a movie. Sorry about that. Slasher was the second season of people that didn't like the first season of Slasher. Oh, it's very predictable. Like like it's pretty easy. If like within the first episode, this dude's the killer. It's not hidden well. But aside from the predictability aspect, and definitely know who the killer is, you're buying season 7 Cult when it comes out in September. I'll be buying Cult on around Black Friday because I know it's gonna be cheaper Black Friday. But if you haven't seen Slasher, guys, it's a fun watch. Like 31, it was fun though. At 31, man, you did like get a little enjoyment out of the murders, and the guy that was in the prison, the guy his character, he was a really good actor. But if you didn't like the first Slasher, 13th Wolfman, I'd still say watch the second one. It's different. It's like it's got like a winter setting, which is something that you don't see enough of in horror, in slasher films, which a lot of people like kind of want. It's got a really good death, like in the second or third episode, that I really enjoyed. The killer is you're going to guess the killer. It's not going to be as pat or predictable as the first season slasher, though. I think you'll probably like the second one a lot better. So yeah, if you love winter horror films, at least give it a shot. 13th Wolfman. It's a decent one. Basically, the premise behind part two, it's a summer camp. Basically, something happened horrible at a summer camp years before, and now all the people that had gone to that were counselors at the camp are getting back together, kind of a reunion type thing, to go up to this place. There's they have an ulterior motive for going up there to cover up a crime that they committed years ago and got away with, and now somebody up there is killing them off. And what's even neater is that when you get up to this camp, there's like this group, like there's a group of almost like cult like people in there. Give the second season a chance. It says like Dead of Summer. Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you finish that? I'll be honest with you. I haven't. I watched like the first 4 episodes, and I completely forgot the series existed. I was watching it with my youngest, and we were watching it together, and I didn't want to watch any more without him. But and I didn't go past like the 4 episodes I'd seen. So I haven't seen Dead of Summer yet. I'm hoping. Did it finish? Did the season finish with like a conclusion? Because I don't think it came back for a second season. If it did, I'm completely unaware of it. But I did like what I saw of it. But I do think Slasher moves a bit faster than Dead of Summer. To put it to you, like in like honestly, Dead of Summer's I found was fun. Well, I like Tony Todd at the beginning of it and that, but it moved a bit slow. Slasher does tend to move a little bit faster than that. So I think it was cool. Too bad no one else watched it. Oh, good. See, I started watching it, and that's the thing. I'm not sure what happened, but we were watching it, and then something happened that we didn't get back to it. But I gotta watch. I gotta see the end. No, I gotta write that one down so I can actually check it out. Did that one ever come out on DVD, or am I gonna have to go watch that one on some kind of streaming service somewhere until it comes out? Because I would love to own that show. When it comes to the horror shows, I kind of want to own them all. I'll watch it on streaming, but I gotta buy them if they're out there. I want to support any horror that's out there. That's why I said, and I mentioned it earlier, 13th Movement. I'm not sure if you're here or not, but I mentioned Channel Zero, and not many people had seen it. I'm guessing you probably have. And I was really surprised. Yeah, and I guess since we're going with all the slasher shows, we should probably mention the Screams TV series, which was better than I expected. Storm and Central by Stephen King is really good. Maybe we'll do a Stephen King episode, a centric episode, where we can actually talk about Stephen King, like break it up into his movies and his TV shows, because there was TV shows, Golden Years, for instance. But yeah, let's do Stephen King next week with Castle Rock. I gotta watch Castle Rock. I haven't seen it yet, so don't give me any spoilers on that one. But I'm gonna catch Castle Rock this week. So what do you say next Saturday, guys? We devote it to King, and we do like a Stephen King movies and shows and TV movies episode. So next week's episode, where this one was kind of like haphazardly done. I didn't expect him doing one. Uh, I Next week is Stephen King. So to celebrate streaming on Amazon in the States. Oh, do we have it here though? I got Amazon Prime, 13 Wolfman. I'm a really big fan of it. Yeah, we'll talk about Golden Years. Okay, Dave Bowie, yeah. We'll talk about Golden Years. We'll talk about like all the different like King movies. I'll even let you guys know what my favorite King book is, and it's probably not what you guys are gonna think. Actually, I'll tell you that right now, as a kind of a preview. Can you guys guess what my favorite Stephen King novel is? If you guess it, I will be really super impressed. You remember a TV show from the 70s called Cliffhanger? I loved Cliffhanger. That really lived up to its name, though. It didn't. The one I liked best was the vampire one with I think was it Michael Nuri in Cliffhanger. Not The Stand. It's not a fictional book, actually. My favorite King novel is Danse Macabre. It is a brilliant look at in the section of horror in all its different forms. Yeah, I would actually love to see that one out on DVD. Actually, they did like three different storylines, cliffhanger ones. They're kind of like a Pearls of Pauline type of one, and oh God, what's the other one again? The vampire one's the one that I remember the most. Anyway, that's the one that stood out to me. I'm a horror fan, I guess. So as a kid watching that, yeah, the vampire one. It's much like Western, yeah, Western horror. So, but yeah, the vampire one's the one that stood out the most for me, and it's one of those shows I remember, kind of like when I first time watched Salem's Lot and saw that, or when I watched Richard Lynch in the TV movie Vampire, which was a pilot, of course, for a series that never happened. I kind of remember those things. Watching like Dark Shadows, watching the revamp of Dark Shadows with Ben Cross, and just being utterly amazed. Do I listen to audiobooks? I love audiobooks. I don't get to listen to as many as I used to. I used to work at a bank, and my job was like basically I was the intake person. So when somebody came, like when people came in, you show up most of the shows I haven't seen. That's not too old, dude. It's just there's a lot of stuff to watch, especially nowadays, with so many like TV channels and streaming services and like things coming out here and there. It's really hard to keep up with a lot of this stuff. But I used to read Louis L'Amour books. Me too. You know what I used to read? I'm not going to lie. Long Arm. I used to read. I was big into the Long Arm books when I was like we talk about westerns. I used to read the Long Arm novels. They're pretty cheesy, and you get them at the library. And the Long Arm one novels had like if you guys not remember Long Arm, they had like they had like the more erotic sequences of them. You know, they had like the dirty things, and I would always know that where it was going to be because when I would get it out of the library, there'd be like pages that were like folded down, and those would always be the pages from the Sackets. Those were actually. Did you see the movies? The but the pages that were always like folded down, those were like the naughtier. See, I always knew it right away. Three shows were Stop Susan Williams, Curse of Dracula, and The Secret Empire. 10 episodes. I know. Did any of them get resolved? I know that I don't think they did actually. And if unless I missed an episode somewhere, I don't think any of the shows got resolved. I think Cliffhanger did do that. It's definitely ended on a cliffhanger. There are a lot of good shows like that when you kind of the older ones that you can go back to that should be out that I would love to see somewhere, but haven't. Yeah, but the Dark Shadows only ran one season. Basically, the newer Dark Shadows with Ben Cross. I really enjoyed that. It's a show that had a very unique reason for being canceled. It didn't get canceled because it wasn't popular. It didn't get canceled because people weren't watching it. It got canceled because there was a war. Rome. I'm mentioning the shows. I'll be watching the shows mentioned around 2028. The Iraq War happened when Dark Shadows did, and basically a lot of the original Iraq War. So director of the show came to a conclusion. Michael Norris, did it come to a conclusion? I don't remember the conclusion episode. I don't think I've seen the concluding episode in 13 Wolfman. I remember the show, but I don't remember seeing the like any pat conclusion to that one. So I didn't see the last episode. I've seen the show, but I've never seen the last episode. I will have to look through, since I know that one's not available. I will look through nefarious purposes, ways to find it when my computer comes back. It's which is broken, and it's in the shop right now. But yeah, I thought it was Michael Nuri. I wasn't quite sure, but I could kind of picture it back like 70s Michael Nuri. So 70s Michael Nuri is kind of like when you watch, if you've ever seen the Doctor Strange movie, but yeah, that's Disco Nuri, that era. But yeah, so are there any more TV shows that I want to talk about tonight? Original. When I started talking about some superhero stuff. So two of my favorite original superhero shows. What was the best era for TV? You think the 60s? Everybody's going to have their favorite era when it comes to television. The 60s is definitely a good era for TV. I think right now is a great era for television. It's as much as we've seen, there was a lot of great shows. I thought there was great shows in the 80s, a lot of cheesy stuff. There's definitely some great shows in this time. Look at like Starsky and Hutch and shows like that came around. Much better shows than they were actually given credit for at the time. Shows like SWAT and just like Police Story, which I thought was incredible. And it was like an anthology series. They just Policewoman spawned off from that. But there was I think every like decade is like the great as like this great spurt of like TV shows. But I think right now we're very lucky. Like in the last 10 or 20 years, when you look at things like Oz and The Wire and Game of Thrones, Night Gallery. I love Night Gallery. I've only got season 2 of that one. I gotta get the complete series. I love that show. Obviously there's a lot of shows I'm not talking about right now. There's like shows like Twilight Zone, Aftershock Presents. Those are shows I want to leave for an anthology episode, which I will do like on its own. So although I've spoken about a couple like anthology type shows like American Horror Story and Channel Zero, anthology TV shows like like Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that, definitely deserve their own episode. Hello there. I am you catch me at the end, but welcome. Can you react to a video? I don't do many video reactions. There's a guy named Tyrone Magnus that's his channel, it's video reactions. But what type of video is it? So I can react to a video, but I probably haven't done any filming like towards video reactions. So many great shows is wise. Channel is one of those shows I keep missing out on. Definitely check it out. Teeth Boy. You're not going to understand that yet, but when you do it though. It's called Jamala Uzan. I'll check it out. I don't know if I would do a reaction video. I don't really do a lot of reaction videos. 60s spawned the most current movies. Yeah, definitely. Like you get a lot of 70s too when you really think about it, like more comedic era stuff. Piz reacts to it. It's a poem. Well, I'm kind of like I can't react to it live like now. I'm kind of like the camera's on here, and but I will check it out for sure. I'll just look in the comment section at the end of the video when it streams, and I'll check out the video to see. I'm always interested in finding new stuff. Today's TV episode, though. Today's our TV episode. Early stuff. Incredible Hulk. I really like the 70s series of Incredible Hulk. I thought that did well. Spider-Man. I'm not going to do a reaction video right now. Remember the TV show Monster Squad? Not the movie. I think I should, but I don't. I like to be honest with you. I don't remember doing X-Files on Blu or DVD. On DVD. I'm going to eventually get the the Blu-ray box set, but I got like the big DVD when it came out originally, and that's been pretty good. I remember watching X-Files on DVD and on TV, like so. I'll eventually get the Blu-rays, but I really did like the X-Files. I do think that some of the later seasons were a little weaker. I think that the best X-Files, you can track the trajectory of like good X-Files to bad X-Files by this. Vancouver shot X-Files, love it. LA shot X-Files, not a big fan. When they went to the United States to shoot X-Files, it lost a lot of its atmosphere, and you could really see it kind of like going downhill. But two shows that I'm really glad to have in my collection. Season 11 of X-Files comes out in September. I haven't seen the new seasons. I know that Gillian Anderson has moved away from it. She's not going to do it anymore. So I doubt they're going to do another one after that. Sledgehammer. Yes, I saw Sledgehammer. I loved it. They ran. I think they ran for 2 seasons. The end of the first season, they didn't think it was going to get a second season. So the end of the first season, in pretty much apocalyptic fashion. So they kind of had to like go back on that afterwards. But it was a really interesting show, and I think I got the first season here somewhere. It was Anchor Bay put it out when it came out on DVD. Two of my favorite, The Flash. We talked about The Flash earlier. I loved this Flash. Cheesy, but fun. Really super cool. And of course, if you watch the new Flash series, then you'll see John Wesley Shipp, the guy that plays Jake Garrick. That's him right there as the original Flash. And if you never saw this Flash series, definitely check it out. And as you can see right there, see the girl? She's also in the new Flash series. Pretty much playing the same type of character. And I think as in a show that had like 3 seasons, but the first one was definitely by far the best. It's a classic. It's Wonder Woman. Loved this show. So season 8 was the last good season of X-Files. That would be the first season of Robert Patrick. There will be no more X-Files. Yeah, Gillian Anderson's gone, so they're not going to bring it back. And I think she's doing the right thing. It's nice that he came back and he did a couple extra seasons of it. But I don't know if like the David Duchovny is like they canceled Aquarius, right? Which is a shame because that looked to be like a really interesting series, and I gotta get the 2 seasons of Aquarius that are out. I did like that show, so I kind of hoped that he was going to do more of that, but apparently I think that series Aquarius got canceled if I'm correct, which is a shame. Not just the fact that she's gone, but the fact that Chris Carey doesn't want to do it anymore. I think it shows. I mean, like what I saw the new of the revamped series, it's hard to go back to that well again. Some people really enjoyed it. I haven't seen all of it, so I can't really say. Wonder Woman used to watch that with your nan back in the day. See, Wonder Woman, the first season was set in like in the Nazi era. So she's fighting all these like evil Nazis and stuff like that. And then they go to basically went to another station. These last seasons sucked big time. Yeah, that's the reason I haven't watched it. I haven't heard good things. We got 2 more seasons of X-Files, better than nothing. I guess sometimes you don't want them to go back to that well. I mean, like look at Twin Peaks came back recently, and it was controversial in its comeback. I thought it was genius in what it did. And that they did an amazing job with the series, but it wasn't the same Twin Peaks that people were used to, and for some people that it was a bitter pill to swallow. They came back and expecting certain things from Twin Peaks, expecting certain characters, a certain dynamic. So they'd forgotten that Lynch would become very much Lynch, and has become more Lynchian over the years. He did not get all the way through the new Twin Peaks. I can completely understand that. It is a really slow burn, and it's a really challenging show to like. There are scenes. I think of Twin Peaks in much of the way that I think of when you're watching Andy Kaufman on Saturday Night Live. So let's show us where anything near good. Oh no, I understand what you mean. Like at least we got like 2 more seasons of X-Files to come out, but I think that can be like a double-edged sword. It can be like 2 seasons, and like it's great to have the characters back again, but are the characters at the top of their game? And if the two seasons work for you, then they're at the top of the game for you, and you're perfectly the audience that's meant for. For me, I don't know. I haven't seen the show yet, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I have seen like X Files. I got burnt out on it near the end, much in the way that I did with Buffy. When Buffy came to the last couple seasons of Buffy, I was like, they should have let Buffy, like, her sacrifice be the last episode, because that was really well done. Hey, kitty, you're adorable. You got such a cute meow. Oh, but are you trying to get through there? But yeah, so yeah, with Twin Peaks, it's different. You don't see Cooper right away, not the way that you want to see Cooper. They make you wait. There's actually scenes, like I was saying before, with I can't get away, I can't get away with David Lynch. I find one of the most overrated directors of all time. I don't know. David Lynch is one of those guys, like, you like him, or you don't like him, and and they're planning a Buffy reboot series. Yeah, no, I heard they're doing a Buffy reboot. They're thinking about a Buffy reboot series. Whether it happens or not, I'm not sure. There's a Charm reboot series coming out, by the way. That's actually been filmed. The Buffy one, he said there is, but if it's like, is it gonna be a reboot? Will it be a prequel? Will it be? I don't think it'll be a prequel, but it'll be its like, much like David Pumpkins, it'll be its own thing. To finish my Twin Peaks thing, I yeah, I do think of it like, looks, Charmed reboot looks awful. But 13th Wolfman. Do you remember Charmed? Do you remember Charmed? You think it can be much? Charmed is a series that was people look fondly back on Charmed, but never look fondly back on Charmed. Look, the casting for the lead actors was really well. It's not good acting though. You got to be honest. The Charmed has some of the worst acting that you're going to see on a TV series. The villains are atrocious, and thank God Julian McMahon came in to that series and just put it to another level, because the stories were good, but they were fun. That's where they were meant to be liked, and they were meant to be like, too serious. And Charmed worked because that Charmed had a certain charm of its own, and I'd say give it a shot for the new one. Did you like or watch the TV series Dollhouse? I love Elijah Dushku. I really, really had a hard time with Dollhouse. It was a show that did not know what it wanted to do, in my opinion. I think I got it here somewhere. I think. No, I don't actually. I got a True Calling, which I really did like. If you want to see a good Elijah Dushku show that unfortunately got canceled too early, there's one called True Calling, and definitely check that out. That's a really good one. Basically, True Calling is this girl gets the chance to, like, kind of right wrongs. After the first season of Rose being on, the stories got really stupid. Yeah, there's like, it's it's different. I think give it a chance. So give the new, like, Charmed a chance. It may be horrible, but the original Charm didn't look like it was going to be good. You stuck the show because of Elijah Dushku. That is the only reason I stuck with that, with Dollhouse, to be completely honest with you. But if you haven't seen True Calling, watch that one. That one's really good. Zach Galifianakis is in that one as well, and Jason Priestley, eye candy. She was. Faith's my favorite characters from Buffy. Faith and Spike are my two favorite characters from Buffy. Buffy's probably one of my least favorite characters from Buffy. Just to let you know, and I do like Sarah Michelle Gellar. It's just that her character in the later seasons got really, really annoying. To finish my David Lynchian thing, is that I think that watching Lynch is like watching stand up from Andy Kaufman. Is that he is not trying, he's trying to entertain himself more than he's trying to entertain you. He wants to see what buttons he can press. Andy Kaufman did this thing where he would get on stage and he would, like, start singing the theme song of Mighty Mouse. He would put a record on, he would start, like, singing along to it, and he would keep on going along to it. Much in the way he would come on, like, and he would start reading The Great Gatsby, and people would, like, wait for, like, okay, where's the, it's funny at first, and then it's awkward, because it just goes on a little bit longer than people are comfortable with. And Andy Kaufman played with the awkwardness. Some people liked that, some people didn't. David Lynch, especially with the new Twin Peaks series, he played with the awkwardness. He let scenes linger on a little bit longer than you really should. he did like he pushed things in a different direction, in a very Lynchian direction, and you're either gonna love it because you like things like Mulholland Falls and stuff like that, or you're gonna hate it because you hate movies like Mulholland Falls. My cat jumped. I just had to make sure that he made it over. So there, that went full circle. I had to get that out there because I want to get it out of my head. I know if I don't say it, I'm going to lose it, and then I'm not going to remember what I was going to say. And that happened to me last week. I had a thought in my head, and I just started talking about something else, and I went to come back to it, and it just totally went out of my head. And I hate when that happens. But there we go. It is. What time is it now? Here it is. Wow, it's 4 a.m. in the morning, and I got to work tomorrow. So Riverdale. I love the series Riverdale. If you watch the series Riverdale, then definitely it. I really really love the series Fringe. I remember the Andy Kaufman stuff. Fringe was okay originally. I didn't get. I got all 5 seasons of it, but I don't have watched them all. To be honest with you, my better half's seen it all. But yeah, with Riverdale, if you guys haven't seen Riverdale, I do recommend it. It's very much like the mystery horror show. That's getting more horrific as it goes through. It's gonna be Sabrina, kind of a spin-off series. And when they say Sabrina, I don't mean don't think of like the Melissa Joan Hart Sabrina. Think of like the kind of the darker Sabrina that's in the comics now, the one that has kind of like we use like kind of like black magic and kind of like all kinds of like villains and voodoo and all the type of stuff. So you're going to get that in the new Sabrina. The new series is going to be more of a horror series. But well, thanks, Tom. But say goodnight. But watch Riverdale. It's fun. Give it a chance. Thank you, Rowdy. Thanks, 13 Wolfman, for joining. Thanks, everybody that came on. I really appreciate it. David Lynch does not seem to have full structure to his story. I think Sabrina will not be on CW. No, it's going to be on Netflix and no crossover. And that's good. I don't think they should do a crossover right away. I don't know if you've seen Riverdale yet or not, but definitely check it out. The Jughead character, yeah, I can relate to the Jughead character in more ways than I'll admit to on a live stream. But but yeah, Jughead was kind of my. There's some parallels. Action Jackman, 13 Wolfman, Reality is Illusion, all you guys, I had a fantastic time. I'm gonna go put on this aloe because I'm in super pain, and I'll talk to you guys next time. And remember, next Saturday, Murdersville. Good night. They're from the UK, and going to hear from Canada. We will talk about Stephen King next Saturday here in the movie club. And for me right now, I would say it's time for tea, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's time for aloe and sleep.